Good afternoon, all. CamelbackTrading.org coming to you this Thursday afternoon, June 30th. We are looking at Window Traders Market Profile, SPY, WMN, Triple Qs. So we do end the quarter in a very, very poor fashion as the SPY closes down just about, I guess it's around $74 for the quarter. Pretty ugly. Down again on the day today. These traders, I think the best word to describe them is to use the word fragile, right? We pushed lower, we gapped lower, couldn't get to the weekly low, rip up and get, man, did we nail that. I had a good day trading, but I'm very upset at myself because basically called that. Said once we got above the opening D, I said they're going to go fill the gap and go get yesterday's POC. And didn't take nowhere near the advantage I should have with it. But I still had a good day. These traders are so fragile. And then they missed the overnight high by literally pennies in SPY. Gave it all back. I'm using L as an afternoon pullback. Not that I'm thrilled with that, but I will use it. That goes for all three of these indices. And then we have the highs and lows. Q's had 8 wide. Us and Russell had only 6 wide. Volume 100 million. We should do average, which is 108 million right now for the year. That's our average volume. Great range again, over $8. And again, just a horrendous close. Not close, but just a horrendous quarter for the bulls. As far as my trading today, in A period, I took a long right against the overnight low the first time, which worked out, 373 calls. I missed a short. We got back up. Didn't get it. You know, the quotes were spread. I was very upset right before the 9:45 turnover because it would have paid very nicely. So I didn't get that short. Then B and C became a short fiesta as far as short party. I 3 times shorted B period with 372 puts that paid. Then in C, even when we took out B's high, we got right up to the 144. I'm like, are they really ready to get going yet? I actually took a size put play of the 375s, 100 of them, and it backed off nicely for me to take off and make a really good trade out of it. And then they finally did get above the 144 simple moving average and ripped. Then I did go long in D and E. Nothing big. But took longs in D and E because it looked like they wanted to, A, get the IB high, and B, start going for the gap. And did okay on it. But absolutely should have been long when F got above E's high because it certainly looked like it wanted to get going with some tempo and volume. I was eating lunch, didn't do it. And then again in G to go get the POC because we got exactly what I thought it would, the gap and the POC. So I was a little upset with myself. But I made up for it somewhat when we were about to take out G's low. Took a 50 put play in H of the 380s, and that went right back down to fill the single print, so that turned out to be a very nice trade. I did finish the day on a small losing trade. I didn't do anything then until L, and took a small long in L period against half back, and when it got below the opening, I took it off. But net, a really good day. Because I didn't know what they wanted to do that last hour and a half with the end of the quarter. As far as destinations go, on the upside, we don't have anything until today's high of 380.66. Yesterday's high of 382.27. Then you should have all the single prints and everything I gave Tuesday night. For our downside, I will use L as the afternoon pullback of 375.09. Then today's low of 372.56. And then again, I gave you yesterday the weekly low and then the gap fill below. Again, I asked you to write those down so we don't waste time going over them all the time. And then let's just quickly go to the chart. Tomorrow night we will recap all 3 of these indices charts for the quarter and everything else, what transpired. But for now, I'm just going to show you the SPY. So again, the weekly, I am calling the weekly up. I know, look, if we take out last week's low tomorrow, well, then it'll be balanced. But for now, I'm still calling the weekly up, even though we came firmly back inside last week's range. If we take out a previous week's low at some point, whether it's this last week's low or this week's low next week, then it goes back to balance. But for now, it's up. The daily, though, however, is still firmly down. We came out of that 3-day balance, ripped lower. Nice little doji on the daily candle. So a lot of uncertainty still. Again, if we take out today's high, we'll come back into at least a 3-day balance. If we take out today's low, we should go and get, or at least test a weekly low, and the daily will continue to be down. Thanks for the likes and subscribing to this channel. Come check us out at camelbacktrading.org. Enjoy your evening, and we'll speak prior to the opening tomorrow.